So here we are a few weeks into NBA 2k26, and I already know this is officially my last. I really mean it. After 2 decades of this game getting worse every year, I am finally tapping out. And I'm sure you're thinking, it's what everybody says. Every year, oh, I ain't getting this game. Then they end up doing it anyways. I've seen the NBA 2k subreddits. But no, this is really it for me. Most of my friends have just stopped playing, like either entirely or as often as they used to. I imagine besides the basketball sim people, the main reason people play this game is to goof off in the park with their friends. So I'm not going to give the entire rundown of all the 2Ks and their history, but here's a little summary of how things just kept getting worse for this franchise. When I was a child, I used to play the super early 2Ks when they were still in competition with NBA Live for the basketball sim market. When NBA Live was still somewhat competing pre their decline in the basketball sim space, 2K had to keep pushing forward and improving. The older NBA 2K games, before they had the heavy VC monetization, allowed for some more freedom in builds and way less pressure to buy any kind of currency. They had a creative player, and I feel like the features, although they weren't as expansive as they are nowadays, were definitely more flexible. The single player and offline modes used to be way more meaningful. The franchise modes used to be what people wanted to play. Fast forward to when I really started to play the game more. Once we hit the big 2K14 and the first real next gen of the 2K era, the next gen graphics on the Xbox One, PS4 made the game feel like an insane step up visually. I know we all remember that 2K14 trailer if you guys were around for that. The gameplay was also a big step forward, as I remember the AI being better, the ball handling animations also improving, but that's also when, the early signs of VC monetization issues started to show up. You can see people complaining all the way back in 2K14 that the prices to max out your player were getting crazy. But little did they know what they had coming for them in 2K26. It's so much fun going back through these old forums and seeing people that still complain about the game as much as, the current players do about each release now. But I still look back at NBA 2K14 way more fondly than some of the more recent titles. Coming into 2K15 and 16, those were probably some of my favorite and probably the most beloved 2Ks by many of the community that have played it that far. I remember 2K16 being my all-time favorite. Just look at this beautiful intro they had for the game. Can you believe they stopped doing cool stuff like this? And now they have these boring-ass, plain-ass designs in all the following years. Even the next year, 2K17, we all know the Paul George death screen that a lot of people had to look at, especially early on in that game's release. But man, this intro had me hyped up, like I was walking into Madison Square Garden or something. But now booting up a 2K feels like I'm clocking into a Walmart shift. However, this is when they started to also focus more on my team, which is probably their second biggest money-making machine. Apparently 2K16 had also some bugs, glitches off rip, but I don't remember too much of that with my rose-colored nostalgia glasses on. But you can even look at this old thread that is just dedicated to listing all the glitches and things wrong with the game off its release. I know this is where the memes and the 2K server connection problems began to arise as well. Once we got into the 2K17 to 2K20 era, this is where they started to give less and less attention to all the offline modes, and definitely started to up the VC cost for all the goofy cosmetics and the My Player upgrades. My favorite game mode has always been All-Star Team Up in 2K. If anyone remembers it, I will always vouch and say it's the best game mode that 2K has ever had. And if they just built upon it a little bit more, it could have really been one of the great modes. But of course, it didn't make them any money, so once the next gen 2Ks rolled around in 25 all the way up to now, they pretty much ended up just canning my favorite mode. And we all know the worst thing was the introduction of the city. Who thought that was a good idea, man? Come on. The 2K18 My Park was already glitchy and annoying to traverse, but the 2K21 city was like an actual disaster. Why would anybody want to travel 20 miles on a damn skateboard, Ronnie? Come on. I know a lot of people like to talk about how the shooting changed every 2K, and that's just a normal thing. They keep pivoting back and forth between different green animation windows and whatever. And that's why probably people started to cheat with their Zen controllers and all that. Every 2K, they change the shooting. Like one year it's easy, the next year it's impossible. I mean, come on, bro, make up your mind. Am I going to be Steph Curry or Ben Simmons this year? All I can say is, for the next gens, what a mess compared to 2K14. And now here comes, 2K24 and 25 with one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my opinion, which is a damn battle pass to a sports game. I mean, on paper, that doesn't even make any sense. A battle pass in a sports game? Well, what do we have next? You go to the gulag if you foul out or something? I mean, it really makes especially no sense for 2K because it's a game that comes out every year. At least in Fortnite or like Apex or Rainbow Six, you have everything you buy from the past for however long it's been around for. But in 2K, essentially you lose everything in 1 year. I mean, the servers shut down in 2, but most people who buy the actual battle pass won't be staying on the game for that long. I mean, we all knew 2K was some greedy MFs, but this is straight up highway robbery, man. And that brings us to the current mess, that is NBA 2k26. And this is for sure the last 2K I'm spending any money on. I mean, if you look at this, they literally had the game labeled as gambling on Steam. If that doesn't tell you enough about how goofy this game is. When I heard that they were bringing that back, All-Star Team Up, I was super excited. I mean, my favorite mode is back. And then, to no surprise at all, they announced that it'll be a game mode in My Team. Yeah, My Team, that's like straight up the worst mode. It's just the ultimate team of 2K, and we know how that is in Madden. So of course they would monetize a good mode just to squeeze anything they can out of this fan base. And for people who want to play an actual basketball sim, you just have no other choice than to buy this tragic game. But you know what? I gotta say, I'm glad I'm done with the basketball sims. Honestly, I can make the same video for Madden or really any other sports game. They're all virtually the same as far as I know. I see the complaints this year about the green window in 2K. I mean, I see all these ridiculous videos of people shooting like some crazy 3-point percentages in this game. I mean, just look at this. And I know the contest system is broken like crazy. I mean, there's videos of people just shooting over 5 people, taking contested fades. And I'm sure they'll patch things soon because it always happens. The game starts off on some kind of broken note and they expect us to just deal with it until they make it stable again. So I'm glad to be done with it. I should have joined Agent a long time ago when he quit. So yeah, NBA 2k26, it's the last one for me. I'm done finding this greedy cycle. And if you're still on the fence for this, maybe it's time to ask yourself, why do you keep paying for a worse version of the same game every year?